All right, guys, so let's touch bases on the current card that we have for WrestleMania. Then I'll give you guys my thoughts on what I could see being added. Again, each night last year, I believe, had night one had 7, and then the second night had 6. And you got so many new championships introduced. You got the women's IC, the women's US, and you got the tag team titles. Then you got the IC regular for the men, and then the US. Like, there's gonna be not all these titles are gonna make the card. With Triple H sticking probably with 7, probably. I think he'll probably go 7 each night. This is gonna be, because again, you don't want the people online to be like, oh, you featured the women's IC and US, and they're not on the card. I'm like, this is gonna be some tough booking for Triple H to figure out. So let's go ahead and knock out what we currently have slated and what I think is going to be added. So let's knock these out. So we got Cody versus the heel John Cena. Of course, that'll be night 2 main event. Then we got not Trish. Still that Trishy time stuck in my head. We got WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. I can see that being on night 1. Then we got Gunther versus Jay, which I think will probably be on night 1. And then we currently got, I think, is Rhea versus Bianca. As of now, we'll see what happens tonight on Raw with that. So those are the only, 4 matches slated so far. So after Saturday, what do I see being added? The Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, that's going to be added. So that was talked about after the Rumble. Maybe they change it. I know some fans are not happy that Drew McIntyre, all the hard work he did all year, getting stuck with Damian Priest. Now, I don't see that again. Damian Priest did a hell of a lot of great work this year. So I don't kind of see that being as a downgrade. I mean, Damian Priest did great work. Drew McIntyre did great work. Yeah, you might want Drew in the title match. But again, everybody gets rotated. Everybody gets rotated in, you get rotated out. I could see Drew McIntyre probably winning King of the Ring. That's where I see Drew. Now, who pretends to win the main event of night 2 with Cena and Cody, I'm still going to stick with Drew winning King of the Ring. That's where he gets his redemption. Maybe Drew faces Jey Uso for the title at SummerSlam. Then he beats Jey Uso. But I think Drew McIntyre, King of the Ring, is a perfect spot for Drew to get the momentum back. The people like, oh, he shouldn't be facing Damian Priest. It'll be a decent undercard match. They're both hard hitters. It'll probably be a good hard hitting match. What else did we see added? The Roman Seth Punk. That's been rumored since after the Rumble. I think was that rumored before the Rumble? I think was that rumored before the Rumble? The Rollins Punk Roman. I think that was rumored before the Rumble, but that's where it's heading. I get people complaining about, oh man, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Punk, all 3 big names all thrown into one big match. Well, you see freaking why now. With the John Cena heel turn, you kind of, okay, with Cena turning heel, even if you did Rollins versus Punk, we already saw that already. That was that Netflix debut. I don't want to see a rerun match. Yeah, Punk one already won. I don't want to see a rematch. You got to do something to spice it up. I get people saying, well, then what does Roman do? Well, The Rock's not wrestling this year. Again, it's still 7 weeks, but I don't see The Rock wrestling. If The Rock was wrestling, he wouldn't need to turn John Cena heel. In my opinion, if The Rock was wrestling this year, he wouldn't need to turn John Cena heel. We would have got The Rock, Cody build up. You wouldn't need to turn Cena heel. So The Rock, to me, is not wrestling this year. So then what does Roman do? Jacob Fatu was rumors. But Jacob Fatu is starting to get really over as a babyface. So they're already going to be turning Jacob versus Solo. You see the seeds already being planted for Jacob versus Solo. So then you can't do Roman versus Jacob. We already seen Roman versus Solo, 1, 2, 3 times already last year? That's not happening. So Roman's kind of in that spot where you're like, dang, you kind of have to do Roman, Punk, Rollins. So I don't mind seeing that. It's probably going to be a great match. Now, will that main event night 1? I mean, I already see people complain about, oh, if Jey Uso doesn't main event WrestleMania, then what was the point of giving him the Royal Rumble victory? Guys, how many people have won the Royal Rumble and have not main evented? Let's throw out some names right here. Alberto Del Rio didn't main event. Let's see if I can do my history of this turns in my week. Let's see, come on. Who else we had? Didn't Undertaker win the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania 23? He sure enough did win that Rumble. Didn't main event. He beat Batista. Let's see if I got any more names. There's plenty of people that have won the Rumble that have not main evented WrestleMania. So I have no problem with Jay not main eventing. As long as Jay gets his moment, he wins the belt. Come on, people. But this is a new administration. I think, since Triple H has taken over, the men's Rumble winner has main evented, which was Cody. So, I mean, you good. Actually, listen, Roman Punk Rollins. That's going to be a great match. I mean, I would give the main event to Jay, because to me, I don't see anybody being on night one WrestleMania probably getting a bigger reaction than Jay Uso. So I think Triple H I think Triple H will do the right thing. I think Jay will main event night one. Roman Punk Rollins, maybe undercard, maybe undercard for night two. But it'll be somewhere high on the card. I think Triple H will do right by Jay. I think Jay will be the closer for night one. All right, so Rhea Bianca. Do I see what? Listen here. Io Sky is one of my favorite women's wrestlers. I think she probably had one of her best match quality runs so far last year and continuing to this year. Her and Liv Morgan, to me, have done the best work of the women's division the past year and then this year. So they've done great work. I don't see Triple H leaving Io out of this match. So how do we get a triple threat match? All right. There's been a lot of discussion. People still don't think Naomi was the one who took out Jade. I think Bianca had some influence. Maybe it was Bianca and Naomi. Could we see a way where Bianca is at ringside watching Rhea and Io tonight? Does Jade interfere? I don't know, guys. I just feel there's going to be a way where we get to this as being a triple. Maybe, you know what? Maybe this will happen. Let's say Bianca's still ringside, Io and Rhea are fighting, and maybe Bianca shows her true colors tonight. Maybe she takes out Io and Rhea tonight, and then that maybe gets a way where you can... Because again, WrestleMania, you still have 7 weeks to go, people. Ain't like this is in 3 weeks or this is in 4 weeks. We got plenty of time to go. Maybe we get tonight where Bianca shows her true colors. She takes out Rhea and Io. And that maybe shows a way of, okay, maybe it was Bianca who took out Jade. But again, we have 7 weeks. I didn't even if it was Naomi who did take out Jade, I don't see a way where Triple H puts Naomi versus Jade as a singles match on WrestleMania when you got so many titles that have to be defended on this card. Again, because if somebody gets left off, IWC is gonna be complaining about, oh, you left the tag team titles off the show. Oh, you left the US title off the show. You left the women's IC title off the show. I don't see Naomi and Jade being a singles match that gets on this card. I don't. So maybe Bianca shows her true colors, and then maybe Jade and Bianca... Shoot, this could be a fatal 4-way. All we know, it could be Rhea, Bianca, Io, and Jade in a fatal 4-way for the belt. Just throwing some ideas out here, people. I don't know if it's going to... Listen, we'll find out tonight on Monday Night Raw what happens with this Bianca, Io, Jade situation tonight. Now, let's move on to some of these mid-card titles. Let's touch bases with the men's IC title. Now, I know there's been people saying, oh, Braun Breaker's not been wrestling a lot. Well, people, there was reports that Breaker was having neck issues. I think they said back as far as Survivor? This was before Survivor Series, because I think didn't Breaker because Breaker did beat Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser at Survivor Series. So this was before Survivor Series, where Breaker was having some neck problems, so they were keeping him off TV. Let's just touch that too. People complain about Rhea not wrestling. Again, Rhea has been injured twice last year. You're at this point when you're this close to WrestleMania, you don't want to risk your main people on the show getting injured. So I don't have no problem with Rhea not wrestling a lot, Cody not wrestling a lot, or Gunther not wrestling a lot when you're getting this close to Mania. If this was Backlash build-up, or this was Clash at the Castle build-up, yeah, I would like to see. Then you can say, okay, people need to start wrestling again. But you're getting this close to Mania. You don't want your main event players getting injured. So I don't have no problem with Braun Breaker not wrestling a lot. Okay? So what does Braun Breaker do? We seen him being teased with AJ Styles. He was teased with, we seen Braun Breaker teased with face to face with AJ Styles. He was with, I think last week he was with Finn Balor and Penta also too. So what does Braun Breaker do? Now again, you can't have so many multi-man matches on this card. So it's the same thing with the US title too, with Nakamura and LA Knight. How many multi-man matches are you going to have? So I can see a scenario where we get, forgot, Logan Paul too, people. Since Logan Paul, there was rumors of Logan Paul, John Cena, CM Punk also too. So what do you do with all these people? You got Logan Paul, AJ Styles, Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor. What do you do? All right, now there was reports of Logan Paul, AJ Styles singles match. Again, we only had 13 matches last year. How many are we gonna get? So let's just so far these rumors that were coming out have so far been accurate. Besides the Drew McIntyre winning the men's chamber, the reports were AJ versus Logan Paul. I'm gonna stick with that. So we go ahead and remove AJ Styles out of here and Logan Paul. So AJ Logan Paul singles match. That means you're left with what? Finn Balor, Penta. Whoa, there also was rumors of Finn Balor and AJ Styles a couple weeks ago too. I'm just going to stick my gut with AJ versus Logan Paul. Singles match for Mania. So that means you're stuck with Penta, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, also Sheamus. I'm sure he's still going to be stuck in the IC picture. So do we run a fatal 4-way? Breaker, Sheamus, Penta, Balor. It's not for the IC title. That's not a bad matchup. Then what happens to Ludwig Kaiser? He's been doing great work too. So this is one of the problems Triple H has that I think is a good thing. You have so much talent this year and the last couple years where it's like, damn, I can't leave this guy off the card. But this is where I wish Triple H might do this. Bring back, there was an old school match, was a championship Scrabble. So was it championship Scramble? What a Scrabble? Where it was 6 men. So yeah, 2 men start the match, and then another guy came in, which much is like the Casino Gauntlet for AEW does. So another man comes in. I mean, there's so much. I'm just gonna stick to my guts. Fatal 4-way. Again, also the New Day too with Rey Mysterio. Are they gonna throw Penta in that? We'll just keep Penta by himself till his brother comes in. So we'll stick with Breaker, AJ Styles. Was it Breaker, AJ? No, my bad, not AJ. AJ's against Logan Paul. My bad, guys. So stick with Breaker, Finn Balor, Penta, Sheamus. That's not a bad fatal 4-way for the IC title. It's not a bad matchup too. It gets Penta on the stage. It gets Finn Balor on the stage. Braun Breaker in a big singles defense. Sheamus wins. Because again, this is the only belt Sheamus has not won. I would not, again, give Sheamus the belt for a couple months. You can put it back on Braun Breaker. Or you can elevate Braun Breaker up to the world title against Jey Uso. Yeah, I mean, Breaker's had the belt a couple times right now. And he can go up against face Jey Uso. It's not a bad first opponent. Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, world title. It's not a bad matchup. Now, as far as the US title, guys, the whole stuff with Nakamura, again, he was off TV this week because I think one of his best friends did pass away, so that's why they did rewrite. And it ended up being LA Knight gets the number one contendership again anyways. So again, we have 7 weeks to Mania. Do you do LA Knight versus Nakamura before Mania? In my opinion, you have to. Because right now, Nakamura has no steam. I'm sorry. He has no steam right now. So LA Knight versus Nakamura does not scream WrestleMania match to me. So this is what I would do. Nakamura loses to LA Knight, maybe be next week or the week after. Regardless, you'll have 5 weeks to Mania. So look at your mid-card division. Right now, you got what? Carmelo Hayes. You got Jimmy Uso. Who else is in this mid-card for SmackDown? Well, Jacob Fatu is going to be facing Solo Sikoa, so you can't do that. Because I would have just had LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for me for the US title. But they're not going to do that. So, Braun Strowman. Yo, the US title on SmackDown is, you got Andrade. Do you bring in Malachi Black? Again, you have 5 weeks till Mania. I wouldn't. You know what? I would do that. Yeah, go ahead. Malachi Black, LA Knight, U.S. title, WrestleMania. Or you could do where it could be like an open challenge. LA Knight has an open challenge. Then it's Malachi Black. I would not mind doing that either. Because again, you need something big for the U.S. title. Right now, the U.S. title, who had the belt before? Oh, Rey Mysterio had the belt. Then it was Logan Paul. Then it was LA Knight. The U.S. title needs some rebranding. Needs some steam behind it. So I'll do that. LA Knight beats Nakamura. Again, this is what I'll do. LA Knight beats Nakamura either next week or the week after that. You have 5 weeks. This is what LA Knight can have open challenges all the way up until WrestleMania. LA Knight just beats everybody he's facing for the next 5 weeks. You get to WrestleMania, open challenge is Malachi Black versus LA Knight, U.S. title. Don't be stealing my ideas, people. That's what I'll go ahead and do. That's what I do for the U.S. title. Let's shift gears to the tag team, then we'll touch the women. Because, again, I don't know how many matches we're going to have, so let's just touch these matches. Raw tag team titles. Now, there's been a lot of conflicting news and rumors about these belts. I think before Jay won the Rumble, there were talks about heel New Day versus the Usos. Again, The Rock coming back in is throwing a lot of stuff back and forth between creative plans. So, we're not getting Usos, we're not getting New Day. All right, so tonight on Monday Night Raw, I think it's the Creed Brothers versus the Viking Raiders. Not Viking Raiders. This is the War Raiders. See, Vince is still stuck in my mind. It's the War Raiders versus the Creeds for the belts tonight. Again, you have 7 weeks till Mania. To me, this is the spot where the New Day should be in. The Creed should have been moved to SmackDown. I don't know. There was reports of Chad Gable and the Creeds being moved to SmackDown. They should have been moved to SmackDown because this is the problem right now. So if let's say the Creeds end up winning the belts tonight, what is New Day doing at Mania? So you can't have a heel versus heel team because again, the Creeds and New Day would cook. You can't have a heel team versus a heel team at WrestleMania. So maybe the New Day interferes in the match tonight. New Day beats up the War Raiders and the Creeds. So then who's in the? Then you have the LWO still. This Raw tag team division. It's the same thing as at least SmackDown is trying, but Raw is in a mess. I don't know what we do tonight, guys. As far as the Raw, again, at this point, just give the belts to the Creeds. You got 7 weeks. Maybe the New Day gets some more steam, but again, heel versus heel team at Mania does not work for me with the New Day and the Creed. Now, if the Creeds were babyface, Creeds versus the New Day, that would be even more better. But Raw side, I don't know, guys. We'll find out tonight what happens. SmackDown side, Street Profits looking good. I like the aggressive. I like that again, they did try to flip him heel before. It didn't work because Bobby Lashley was so likable. So that's why it didn't work. So you flipping the Street Profits back heel. I like the aggressiveness. DIY, it is what it is with DIY. Motor City Machine Guns, it's the same thing. They're not, again, they still can put on great matches, but they're not connecting with the crowd because, again, as far as certain cities you're in, they look for the big stars. And Machine Guns are not, again, in us hardcore wrestling fans, we know who the Machine Guns are, but they're just not connecting. Maybe they also need to go heel, too. Just go heel, and then the fans will care about you. That's what works in wrestling right now. Just go heel, and they care about you. Legado Jesus. Legado, let's put that. Legado, it's the same thing with them, people. Again, they're supposed to be heels, right? Same thing with them. They got to get some more steam behind them, too. Pretty Deadly, don't care about Pretty Deadly. So at this point, I think we might get, how many more teams was it? It was Legado, Street Profits, Machine Guns, DIY, Pretty Deadly. Maybe a 5-man, listen, how about this? 5-team TLC match. Book it. 5-team TLC match. No problem with that. Again, you got 7 weeks. Can they build up to that? They probably can. Let's see. Now, I think the last 2 matches we got to touch here will probably be these women's mid-card titles. Now, I was in the same belief that, okay, there's a lot of women on the main roster. There's going to be a lot of women coming up from NXT. You got your Julia. You got your Stephanie. You got, who's about the girl? Soruka. She's amazing. Soruka's amazing. You potentially got Zarya. You got Jordan Grace coming up eventually. You got Jada Parker. Is there anybody big? Is there any big name I'm missing? Because there's still a lot of. Roxanne Perez is coming up. Cora Jade gonna be. So there's a lot of women in NXT. They're gonna come up. So introducing the women's mid card titles, I was like, okay, no problem with that. But it's how you start. It's how you start booking them. All right. I don't know why Chelsea Green. Don't know why we had Lyra Valkyria. Why were there in these matches that was qualified matches for the Chamber? To me, they didn't need to be in them because they both took pinfalls. Chelsea Green lost, and then Lyra Valkyria lost. Yeah, you can say they lost to established stars. I think didn't Naomi beat Chelsea Green? I think Naomi did beat Chelsea Green, and then Bayley beat Lyra Valkyria. So you already started off on a bad foot there, where they both lost. Now you're trying to rebuild them up. Chelsea Green, thank God she didn't lose on Friday against Tiffany Stratton. So tonight, Lyra Valkyria, she beat Dakota Kai last week, and she gonna beat Ivy now tonight. Hopefully she does. Now the plans were, the rumors. Listen, I think people just saw the correlation. Becky may be returning. You do Becky versus Lyra Valkyria. They're both Irish people, both have history together. Becky versus Lyra. That's how she gets on WrestleMania card. But we have 7 weeks, people. Maybe Becky returns tonight. Because I don't see another way. The only other way I see Lyra Valkyria getting on WrestleMania card would be this. Say Rhea does beat Io tonight. Clean. She beats Io clean. You get the stare down Bianca Rhea at the WrestleMania sign. Maybe Io turns heel. Io would face Lyra Valkyria. That would be another way that Lyra could probably get on the WrestleMania card. But Becky Lynch versus Lyra, she's definitely getting on the WrestleMania card. So there's still some options for Lyra Valkyria right now. As far as Chelsea Green, I think I've seen a lot of people say this too. I would have done Jordan Grace versus Chelsea. Because again, they're both friends. They both used to work in TNA. Jordan Grace versus Chelsea Green. A good 5 to 6 minute match on WrestleMania. You showcase Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace wins the US title. I was like, they could do that. But no, they put Jordan down in NXT, which, with the rumors of Julia being injured, I could see probably why they put Jordan down there. Because you could probably still do Jordan versus Stephanie at Stand and Deliver. That makes sense. So then what does Chelsea Green do? Because right now you have, I think Bayley's on Raw, right? Bayley's on Raw. Roxanne Perez has still been feuding with Bayley, so that's on Raw. Who's on SmackDown? Charlotte Flair's facing Tiffany Stratton. Are you going to do Nia Jax versus Chelsea Green? This is what I do. You have 7 weeks. If it's not Bianca at all, Bianca's clean of all this Jade stuff. All right, you have 7 weeks. Jade versus Naomi, you have what? You have about a 3 to 4 week build up. Cool. Jade beats Naomi. Jade versus Chelsea Green at WrestleMania. I wouldn't be mad at seeing Jade versus Chelsea Green. Or you know what? Or you could do Jade, Chelsea, and Naomi at WrestleMania. You tie in a heel Naomi and a Jade and Chelsea Green for the US title. That'll be another way you get on the card. Because, again, we're only going to have so many matches you can have for WrestleMania. So I'm gonna just lock in some matches which I think are definitely. So right now we have 4. We have 4 right now. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. That's 5. Rhea versus Bianca with Io or without Io. That's 6 matches. IC title for the men. Definitely making the card. So that's the 7 matches, guys. US title regard. I think US title's on it. Oh, I didn't even. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Totally missed that match. Randy versus Kevin Owens. Maybe a Hell in a Cell match. Triple H, come on. Maybe we get a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania this year. Come on, Trips. KO versus Randy Hell in a Cell match. All right, that's 8 matches. What else are we missing? Did I say men's IC title? I think I did. If I didn't, that's 9 matches. Roman Reigns versus Punk versus Rollins. That's 10 matches, guys. We're already at 10. SmackDown titles, I think so. That's 11. That's 11 right there. And then Sami Zayn. I didn't even touch Sami Zayn. They've been building this Karrion Kross Sami Zayn stuff the last couple weeks. I mean, actually say about the last month. Yeah, I doubt they're keeping Sami Zayn off WrestleMania. So that's 11 matches. So Triple H is going to have his hands full. I totally forgot about Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and then Sami Zayn's definitely not missing WrestleMania. So Karrion Kross may get his wish. He may get his singles match against Sami Zayn. So, guys, give me your thoughts down below. What matches do you see being added? What matches would you add to this WrestleMania card? Because this is going to be a jam-packed show. This is one of the years where you're like, who's getting left off this show? Because, and again, they also do have a lot of time. This, again, to me, guys, I think 8 matches each night is the perfect 16 matches, 8 each night. Cut some of these damn advertisements that you guys are going to be having and the filler time, because there's no way that there's so many people that deserve to be on this card this year that may get left off. So give me your thoughts down below, guys, on the current state of WrestleMania. I'll be back here tonight for a Raw review, give you my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. And John Cena, come on, man. March 17th. That's the first time you're going to show up, bro. March 17th. So I'll catch you guys back here later tonight.